Hi guys, this is Chris from Drakmore Digital, and this is the second video in the update of the Mundane Gundam challenge build I'm doing with Midnight Hatter. I'm very excited to show you what I've gotten so far. What I have done is I've finished up the bot I've been working on. I got all those little accessory parts kind of off camera finished, just to save a little bit of time. But then I dull coated the whole thing with a bit of lacquer, which I'm super stoked because I find that dull coating model kits for some reason just kind of tones down the toy look. Kills the shine on the plastic itself, which makes it, as much as a 6-inch model kit looks realistic, it gives it just a little bit more realism to it. And it adds to that, which really helps in situations like what we're doing with the Mundane Gundam, where it is set in a real-esque setting. Speaking of, if you're new to this video and you don't know what Mundane Gundam is when you take a Gundam model kit or Gunpla and you place it within a scene, an everyday scene. The first one I ever did was the red Astray frame, which is sitting right here, in a bar scene, which I had a lot of fun doing, but again, it was the first time I ever worked on it, and it was pretty straightforward. It was 2 walls and a floor, so it's a lot easier. The next one I'm doing right now has a lot more to it. 4 full walls, 2 doors, a ceiling, a staircase, as well as a TV, which is kind of the view into this room. And yeah, it's just been very fun. I've once the dull coat on the Mark II sets, I'm going to use a gray panel line to really make all the details pop. I'm also foregoing using the stickers that it's given with, at least for everything but the cameras and the sights. The green shiny kind of goes through. Everything else is awesome. I love the amount of detail they put into the stickers, but not only for a timed build, which this is, and for my own personal sanity, those stickers, there's a lot of them, and maybe one day I will jump into the task of getting the stickers on that bot. But for now, I'm going to hold off and hope the panel lining really just brings it forward. Next, I did get started and a good portion of the way into the actual framework for the set itself, which I'm really excited about. As I said, I got the staircase started, I got a couple door frames going. I need to get started on getting a few more bits of the frame done, and I can actually start putting in detail. And then once that's all done, once it's all built and put together, it's just a set of painting and filling the space. Luckily, a lot of the filling the space comes down to utilizing dollhouse parts, because dollhouse pieces actually are within 1/12 scale. A lot of the time. They're not all that way, but what I work with is in 1/12 scale, because I've been doing photography as a hobby and a little bit more for a long time in both regular photography, just normal photography, as well as toy photography. And what's cool about toy photography and a lot of the use of things like your standard collector's action figures is they're in 6-inch scale, which is 1/12 scale, which fits with all of the dollhouse furniture, which means all of that is already 2 scale and I don't have to build those parts, which granted, I would love to learn how to at some point, but again, for a timed build, it helps having those bits already prefabricated in here. So I'm very excited. But yeah, I got my work done so far. I did a little time-lapse video, which VoiceOver Chris will take over in just a moment, and then you'll have a little kind of pseudo B-roll at the end to give you a hint and a look into what the set should look like once it's all put together. Very loosely, but it's fun. Oh, and don't forget to stay tuned, because after this, I'm actually going to hand it over to Steven, or Midnight Hatter, and he's going to show you what he's been working on, and oh my god, everybody, it looks amazing, and I'm so excited to see where it goes. So, for now, I'm going to hand it over to myself, and Chris, take it away.
Hey guys, VoiceOver Chris here. So, what we have is the main platform of the set itself. Right now I'm measuring for the corners to actually give some amount of weight or edges to the actual set itself. followed up closely by a layer of Mod Podge, which I feel will give the actual whole floor more of a natural look instead of just like planks of wood. It should even that out. I could even give a little bit of a sanding before I finally do a final paint. We'll see, I haven't gotten to that point yet. Now I'm measuring to add all the little extra bits, adding all the things like the TV, the windows, just marking off the areas and measuring out where they should go. Starting to build the first door, which is super super interesting to do. Definitely have a lot more tools to get and a lot more like a workspace to work on, but for right now, seemingly did the job. Loved almost pinching my fingers in those pliers to try to force a nail in. Won't be doing that again. You got the base framework that I started working on. I've never really done this kind of thing where I've built a whole like room. So it's been a little bit of a thing to kind of pick up and figure out as I go along. And, definitely had a few mistakes, had a few failures, and certain things I've tried, but, great thing about wood, especially balsa wood, you can tear it down and build it back up very quickly. And even though, at least in camera, it looks slightly off-center, or slightly sagging forward, I promise, the end result of this whole situation is going to be much more uniform. A lot of it comes down to, it'll be adding in the walls and the wallpaper, which will give it a little bit more form and function to this. Next, what do we got? We got our second door, which in this scene, I really want to try to make it be basically like a door off to the side, somewhere maybe like a kitchen or another room. So you're just going to have a slight light off in there. And you won't be able to see down it too far, especially from the angle the picture will be taken, but you'll get just a little bit of that look. Now you see me working on the staircase, which again is more just set dressing. It goes to nothing, but you'll get the corner and the banister in the shot if kind of my calculations are correct. So I wanted to give a little bit more realism to the room like this. And I thought it'd be kind of cool to add in a little staircase. Again, never built one before. It's definitely work in progress. Still kind of figuring out exactly the length and doing the best I can with what I got. But it's been really fun to do. Putting it all together has been just a blast. Now we get a little B-roll, as best B-roll as I could do. Shaky cam initiated. But you kind of get a good look over the whole set. Everything's kind of in place of where I want it to go. And it's some nice high quality shots. A lot of this will be changed and there will be a lot more to it. But hey, take it away, Steven. It's all yours now.
What's up, guys? I am Midnight Hatter, also known as Steven, and I'm super excited to be bringing you the second video update on the Mundane Gundam Gunpla build challenge that Drakmore Digital has invited me to participate in. For those of you who don't know who I am a graphic designer, game developer, and absolute Gundam fanatic. So let me show you what I've got going so far.
So you'll recall in the last video we introduced the bots that we'll be using for this build. I chose the high-grade GMGM, or HG Gym Gym if you will. I really like the posability of this kit, and I've got him all panel lined and weathered, and he just needs a nice little top coat and he'll be ready to go. Oh, and I need to replace those awful hands. So let's take a look at my inspiration for this piece, which is sort of a neon bar scene. Eagle-eyed viewers will recognize this as the Neon Demon Photography Studio. And I also like this Edward Hopper painting featuring a James Dean cameo. So I'm going to create a combo interior-exterior neon bar. Now, if you're familiar with my work, you know that I'm something of a thrifty fellow, so I love found materials like this glass pane from a broken picture frame that I am going to be recycling as the wall of my bar. As for the other found materials in my collection, I was going to be harvesting some wood from these old pallets, but unfortunately it rained, so I need to either wait for a sunny day for them to dry out so that I can chop them up, or, I don't know, use a hairdryer or a dehydrator or something. But you can see how the natural cracks in the wood have created sort of a wood paneling that's going to look great as the floor of the interior of the bar. So let's start by making the wall here, and we're going to start with a piece of foam core. that's peeled and cut to the size of our glass pane. And I'm going to go ahead and, using the blunt side of my hobby knife, I'm going to carve the bricks into the foam that's on the interior of the foam core. Dig that sweet ASMR. Now once all the horizontal bricks are done, I'm going to go in and do the vertical ones, and I'm going to freehand it with a pencil because, it's those little imperfections that make it look really realistic at scale. Once the bricks are carved, I'm going to go ahead and flip this over, and measuring out the size of the door using my GM as a guide, I'm going to go ahead and cut out a door and a window to this bar. It actually came out a lot cleaner than I expected using that massive knife. And once it's fully cut, time for the fun stuff, the paint. Now I'm going to go ahead and just glob this on like an absolute animal, so don't judge me. But the idea is that I'm trying to get all of this paint into the cracks, the creases, the crevices, and that's because this base coat is actually going to be the mortar of the bricks. And that's because once this is dry, I'm going to dry brush over it with the brick red color, and it's going to not fill in the cracks, and it'll give you that nice brick look. I might add like 1 or 2 black bricks just for some variation in color. Now I know what you're thinking. Hatter, you said something about neon. Well, that's what these EL lights are for, and if you watched our announcement live stream, you know that I discovered they actually react to black light, which means instead of wasting the entire strip for one tiny neon sign, I can actually make multiple neon signs, cutting out little strips, and then shining a black light over them.
And that's about it. Hopefully I'll be able to make some more progress this coming weekend, and with that, I'm going to turn it back over to you, Chris. Thanks.
Thanks, Steven. Yeah, your build looks so good. I'm just so excited for it. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this, guys. If you like what you see, don't forget to like, subscribe. Also, check out Midnight Hatter's channel. He has a much better catalog of videos and awesome content for you. So don't forget to throw him a subscribe, like his videos, check his stuff out. It's great. And yeah, as I said before, I'm Chris from Drakmore Digital. Thank you so much for watching, and you'll be seeing me soon. Bye-bye.